presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Ben in San Jose. Ben, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
I just wanted to thank you and your team and everything. I've been using your technique with the 10-minute charts, watching the VIX, and just making a fortune here on the futures.
Isn't it interesting? That's awesome, man.
It's wonderful. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What is going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. It looks like if you're in the Bay Area, and I mean Tampa Bay area, we're going to get a lot of rain tonight. We're going to get very chilly as well, which I'm looking forward to. Man, you know, I love the cold weather, but I also love it being sunny. Florida's kind of one of the places you can really get that often, and I was a little bit sad that we might not get it for long this year. So today, what is Wednesday today? So that's perfect. We're going to have Steve Rhodes on actually on Friday. Really looking forward to that. And then we're going to be joined by Elliot Wellenbach of Direction. You definitely don't want to miss that. You know, I love playing Direction shares. It really helps me kind of hedge my position, especially around earnings. We're going to talk all about that for sure. He'll be on at the 3:15 segment. Right now, taking a look at the SPY, you're up 0.22%, all right? You know, you had the Fed minutes come out. They're worried about inflation a little bit. They're worried about tariffs mainly. And we've spoken a little bit about how, you know, the tariffs can be in place and the Fed can keep, you know, their rates elevated, but you still get kind of cheaper prices, at least on loans, if you can suppress the 10-year rate, right? And this whole concept I think that Trump's trying to do is essentially do that, right? It'll be very interesting to see. Of course, you can also gain value from leveraging assets as opposed to debt, which is kind of what we do now. Moving over to assets would be kind of interesting, and we'll see if he can monetize, you know, the asset portion of the balance sheet. It's all very interesting stuff. Oh man. Okay, so let's think here. We have the SPY up 0.19% at 612. We have the composite up about 0.19%. At 20,080, you have that Dow Jones Industrial trading off about 0.06% at 44,531. And the Russell, okay, off about 0.27% at 2,291. Of course, you can get smacked with higher rates at that level for longer, especially in some of your smaller companies there. And you get the dollar, you're up about 0.18% at 107.19. Crude is cooking up 0.46% at $72.16. And gold, kind of flat right now, 2,947. All right, what is it that we need to look at? Okay, Tesla. I personally, again, I think, you know, and this isn't just vibes, you know, we're not doing like Gilmore Girl analysis or anything like that, right? I mean, their business is contracting, right? I mean, we're pricing in a massive growth company here. You had P of 177, trading at $1.1 trillion. And you guys have heard the spiel before that I've had with Tesla. You know kind of what my thesis is on this. I think this is somewhat of a dead cat bounce, you know? I mean, you have declining volume coming off of this, you know, pretty big recent low on some decent volume. You know, this thing needs just another kind of catalyst to shake out even more, which will probably be other quarterly earnings. You know, see what happens. It is interesting to see some of these big guys kind of pivot a little bit. And I say big guys meaning Meta and Apple and of course Tesla as well, with humanoid robotics. I think that's interesting. You know, how much of that is just kind of a way to generate hype, and that is something that, you know, should be understood, right? That these, you know, kind of marketers, in a sense, you know, they want to build hype around their brand. They see how high these kind of things can go. I mean, Tesla was purely a hype company for a very long time, you know, and I would say, you know, honestly, at these valuations, it still totally is, you know. So kind of interesting. I'm still looking at, you know, 280. I think it needs to give back the Trump bump. I really do. And I think he puts himself at a higher amount of risk doing what he's doing currently. Now, you know, who's to say that, you know, the current government or whoever, you know, punishes him or investigates him for what he's doing. But, you know, say we have Senate elections coming up in 2 years or whatever, and you get a House flip or whatnot, or Senate flip, you know, you can get into a serious situation with this. And I'm not saying that will happen. I also don't know if that really should be weighted heavily in any kind of short thesis on Tesla. But yeah, it is still something that kind of remains. Let's see what else we got kind of rocking right now. You have UZ off 7.26%, Palantir coming down a little bit. But man, I mean, you're still super high. I mean, that gap up, the run after the gap up is unbelievable, right? I mean, you have a 634 PE. The market cap is 262. I think what people are looking at, is saying like, well, hey, if all these other companies are, $1 trillion, why isn't Palantir? And I don't think that is a proper way to look at this at all. I think that's kind of naive to an extent. Yeah, I think this is kind of what I've been seeing, right? Like, hey, if all these other guys are $1 trillion, why can't Palantir be that either? So kind of strange. My thing with Palantir is I think it's in one of those territories where you really don't know how you can short something like this, right? Or buy puts for it or whatever it might be. Speaking on kind of options, taking a look at SMCI. Of course, we're looking for earnings coming out the 25th. We've had calls, right? 37 strike for February 28th. You start getting to a level here where you see the gains you have, and it's like, do you really want to hold it? The way I think about it, you're trading at a 37 billion market cap right now. They're projecting 40 billion for 2026. If you say you even trade, market cap 3 times that, you can really see this stock up around like 170. Now, not saying that's going to happen at all, and there's still a lot of big ifs with this company, namely being, do they even publish on the 25th? Part of me, and I was talking about this in the den a little bit, part of me is thinking like, hey, why not just buy, puts 35 strike for February 28th as well? The gain on being in the money on our 37 calls was phenomenal already. I can take that, or that, position can take, let's say, whatever it costs to get however many contracts for that put. I think that might be the move if you have options in SMCI, because here's what I think, right? You can do it so far out of the money on puts, because if they don't report, this stock craters. I mean, this is kind of a unique situation, right? You don't get to see that all the time. And so, all right, let's say it does continue to go up and you stay at these levels, because it'll probably be at these levels if they absolutely publish, right? If not higher. You might get some momentary shakeout, just to see what happens. But it definitely stays at these kind of elevated levels. And then, okay, well, you just lost the premium on the put contract. Okay, not a big deal, because you've already made so much being, depending on what your strike was when you bought the calls. So anyways, long story short, I think I'm going to take a position like that, because in the event that they don't publish on the 25th, man, we will be, those puts will print. I mean, they really will print. Up 13.5% at 63.29. And then another one I'm looking on buying puts on, you have Oklo coming up with earnings. And man, I don't think it needs to be at this level. Even the shake off of 10%, I think, is not enough. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back with Elliot Wellenbach of Direction when we return.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You are watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all had a fantastic day. Of course, right now, we are joined by Elliot Wellenbach of Direction. Now, we have Elliot on every month, and we love going through some of the leverage ETFs that Direction have to offer. Of course, one of the most recent ones that we did on the show here was for Palantir earnings. That was PLTU. So we're definitely looking forward to talking with Elliot. Elliot, how are you doing?
Hey, thank you for having me today. Always great being on and excited to be here.
Fantastic to talk to you again. Fantastic to hear from you. So, quite an interesting start to this year. Elliot, of course, I think we spoke a little bit last year. Usually you're on with Tommy. But some stuff I kind of want to initially go over. You know, we kind of go over gold on this show. Obviously, Tom was big on gold. We have some other guys come on that look at gold pretty heavily, namely the GDX. But you're taking a look at the gold contract. Of course, you have this massive, what seems like an arbitrage opportunity. You have gold, at least the contract, moving up. We're trading 2,948. So quite a nice move to the upside. One of the groupings that we've looked at in the past are the gold ETFs. Okay, so that's going to be Dust and Nugget. I'm kind of curious what you're looking at. Of course, we've had some miners report recently. We have some more coming up. Kind of what you guys are looking at regarding just kind of gold in general and your ETFs with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know you guys love gold, and also it's very timely to speak about. And, you know, we're seeing for gold continue run up that we saw last year. I think gold was on a 7-week winning run as of end of last week, and we've seen a variety of analyst upgrades and end of year price targets. Somewhere the average is around $3,100, and we're really seeing that from a variety of different impacts, but mostly. Just uncertainty around economic policy, tariffs, inflation fears driving gold higher. So we've seen not only gold, have some strong performance this year so far, but also the gold miners, as you mentioned. Nugget and Dust are our 2x and inverse 2x gold miners, and then we have our junior gold miners, JNUG and JDST, are 2x leverage and inverse. And just a little tidbit of flows that we like to look at. Traditionally, where we see strong performance in our ETFs over usually a shorter period of time or intermediate period, we'll see actually outflows. That's traders taking profit and locking that in. So we saw for both our bull funds, NUGT and JNUG. Those were in our top largest outflows for last week, as you saw profit taking, starting to take place last week on some of the products.
Absolutely. So yeah, very interesting. Again, the junior ones are fantastic, and I always, every so often, again, love playing Dust and Nugget. I think, and I was speaking a little bit about Palantir. It's so good, at least for like your general positions to hold, right? And going into earnings, it's a good way to leverage, a good way to get some exposure as well. These are fantastic, and kind of on the, I guess, the similar kind of train of like consistently going up, right? I mean, we've seen some really strong performance of with gold. We've been playing a lot of tech, and you've seen for quite a while tech and really the semiconductors moving up, and then of course you have DeepSeek come out. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about the Chinese ETFs, but of course you have NVIDIA coming out with earnings. This is going to be 226. I'm curious what you guys are kind of seeing with that, because this has been a really wild ride. NVIDIA is of course right at the heart of really this massive AI and technological boom we're seeing. You have NVDU, of course, and then NVDD. Kind of curious what you're seeing with that. I mean, wow, looking at this chart right now, you have the high of 153.13. This is in NVIDIA with the DeepSeek news coming out. I think you made a low that day of 116, and then totally in the near term, 112.81, and we've come all the way back up, trading up 0.41% today at 139.93. Everyone is watching for earnings on 226 like a hawk, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is the whale that everybody's waiting for, and kind of there's a lot of anticipation around that to see if they're going to continue to blow out earnings as they have for the past. It feels like almost about 2 years now.
I know.
And it's crazy, and you think they can't keep going up, and somehow they do, especially off that DeepSeek news.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, we saw the NVIDIA reach a high in early February, and then January, and then drop off of that news. But it's the NVIDIA stock has pretty much almost recovered from that that pullback. And we have a lot of anticipation around our single stocks. Like you mentioned, NVDU, 2X Bull, NVDD is a single inverse. We actually have a pretty diverse lineup of single stock ETFs, not only in the mega cap tech space, but actually pretty diverse across the entire semiconductor space. We actually just launched AMD ETFs, AMUU and AMDD last week, 2X Bull, single inverse bear.
Yes, and along with MU, Micron. This one has been super interesting to me as well, right? You're looking in the whole realm. What we talk about a lot on this show, right? When I'm hosting it, is how do we set up for the next phase in this AI build out? Of course, you're seeing massive capex from some of the big hyperscalers, and we're looking at memory now to run these kind of data centers. And it seems like Micron with their DRAM is really poised very well. Of course, AMD. I think is starting to get some more attention from the industry, where NVIDIA has really stolen a lot of that shine, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, obviously with these leverage ETFs with AMD, you have AMW, AMWB, and then Micron. Okay, you have MUU and MUD. And I'm curious if you're seeing some more traction with that as well. This is actually, Micron is one that I've just added to my personal portfolio, because I'm very excited to see the run up on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, in the past 3 days, the stock itself, not even talking about our leverage ETFs, is up double digits. So we've seen quite a bit of trading activity pick up, especially on the bull side, MUU, 2X Bull. The announcement of that SSD, just being able to load large language models in seconds and reduce the AI model load time. I think it sounds pretty groundbreaking, just for the advancement in processing those large language models. So we've seen definitely an uptick in trading in both pairs for Micron. It's been quite an active week in the single stock suite.
And again, these additions of the single stocks have been just phenomenal as well. And kind of on that DeepSeek, with that big drop-off we had in January with kind of the revelation of what DeepSeek was doing and how much more efficient it was, you saw a massive amount of money move over into China. Of course, we were looking at Baba over here, and you have some pretty solid, some very solid Chinese leveraged ETFs. The one I'm really looking at is Yin and Yang right now. Obviously, you have massive holding in Tencent for Yin and Yang, Alibaba, Xiaomi. Are you seeing more attraction in China right now?
Yes, we really saw that. There was a lull in China for quite a bit, coming out of COVID, and it really picked up in the fall of last year. And then all of a sudden, this DeepSeek news comes out, and we've seen a explosion of growth and just kind of a buoy for Chinese equities and tech, which is really driving traders going into that space short term.
And this is a new thing for a lot of American investors, and so being able to get exposure, via this vehicle is phenomenal. Elliot, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next month.
Hey, thank you for having me. Looking forward to it.
We're back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are February 14th and 28th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We were just joined by Elliot Wellenbach of Direction. Strongly recommend checking out that interview if you missed it or want to go back over what we were talking about. And, there's actually two things I want to say. One, I want to finish on talking with China. I think I've spoken about this on the show multiple times. This is an attractive investment opportunity. And I know there's that holdup that people have. It's like, oh, well, it's China, et cetera, et cetera. And yes, that fear's there. But, as they've kind of grown a little bit, they have a major middle class, that are consuming exactly like you and I are over here in America, right? In the past, China was always known as the other Rome, right? They were at the other, the either end of that long trade route. And I mean, it's kind of the same for us now, Of course, maybe they're ideologically different or whatever it might be. But the case is that they have a large burgeoning middle class of very young people who want to live very much like how we live over here, right? So, I'm looking at things like Tencent to add in. Of course, BYD, vehicle company is massive. Baba, I've been kind of tepidly bullish on that equity for quite a while. And so, with Direction, you have Yin and Yang, obviously, which I love. I don't know how they come up with these, but they're good. These tickers. You have Yin, that's a China Bull 3 times ETF. If you ever wanted to look as well, you can go to their website, direction.com, /product, and then kind of check out which leverage ETFs they have. They'll tell you the weighting. Very much recommend doing this. And of course, we played PLTU, love that. And I think would be kind of fun to look at right now is PLTD. Okay, so this is the leverage bear ETF, up 7.74%. You say, what the heck happened, Jacob? You're just looking at this equity before we had Elliot on, and Palantir was to the upside. Well, very interesting, right? President Trump has ordered the Pentagon to prepare an 8% budget cut over the next 5 years. So, these things get attractive. If you're holding Palantir right now and you're like, oh my God, I just bought at the top, what do I do? This is some way you can kind of hedge yourself a little bit. That's why I love these leveraged ETFs. They are great. I use them on earnings. It's fantastic. So really check it out. Great people over at Direction. Really strongly recommend. And you can just check out their whole list. I'm going to wager that most of the things you guys are playing, they're going to have something for you. So check it out, and it'll help you around earnings or maybe a significantly tough day or whatever it might be. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Yeah, Palantir, how about that? What do we have going on, Fletch? What are you talking about, King? Ooh, that's not good. SMCI off a little bit. That might be a little ruggy action. We'll see what happens. Man, that's quite a move to the downside, huh? Did some bad news just really come out for everything? What are we doing this by? No, okay. So you just Palantir and SMCI, the things we're looking at. Okay, great. Oh no, I mean you have this massive sell-off. I don't know what that is. If there's any other news out, please let me know, guys. What else are we taking a look at? Take a look at Oklo. I really want to buy puts on this thing. So SMR company, man, what is going on with this dumping going on, huh? Yeah, if anyone has heard anything, please tell me in the den, because that's pretty nuts. You're getting a pretty wide dump off there. Let me see in the composite. Okay. Yeah, so this is a market-wide kind of thing dealing. Don't freak out on SMCI if you're, obviously do your thing. And then let's see here. What did I want to... Let's take a look at the video. Yeah, weird, huh? We'll have to look that up over the break. That's kind of nuts. Let's talk a little bit about Oklo. They have earnings coming up right now. SMR company. Sam Altman owns this. Of course, they had a big MOU with Lightbridge. We were talking about Lightbridge a little bit with their doped uranium. You've heard me talk about it a lot. I'm long-term bullish on uranium. I really am. And SMRs as well. I think there's a floating SMR coming our way. Again, I'm going to look this up over the break and we'll talk about it some more. But listen, what do these guys have to show for their market cap of $5.4 billion? And it's not much because they don't have anything right now, okay? They have some designs, which is cool. No doubt, I think SMRs are 100% going to be the way of the future. But, they're not doing anything right now. And I still think the ramp up for these kind of things, even if we expedite it, pass some legislation, the executive branch is like, you know what, no, we're going to do these kind of things. We're going to build it. Listen, it still takes some time to build these out, and that's fine. You can still get, run-ups in the equity prices with that, and that's actually some tangible news, but we're not there yet, especially in SMR. And so I think what's going to happen, and what I look at when I see these large companies, and Oklo doesn't have, meme status like Tesla does or anything. I mean, it's definitely a meme stock right now, but, you just need the catalyst for it to be like, okay, let me take a break and take some earnings. Why are we up this much? I mean, that's what happens when you look at some of these companies that don't really have product, don't really have revenue or anything like that. And then you come around earnings. Everyone's like, wait, why am I in this right now? And yeah, you get some bag holders and stuff like that, and that's not a big deal. And I'm sure Oklo will also go back up on news, and that's really what this whole kind of industry has been. It's just kind of rallying up on news and kind of selling off a little bit, right? This is gonna be a little bit different because it's gonna sell off on some news and then it'll probably move up again. I mean, you have these days like this, right? Which is a deep seek sell off. Everyone's like, oh, maybe we don't need nuclear power, and that's fine. We're gonna rally right back up. Surprising with this, you didn't really have much of a Trump rally with Oklo, which is interesting because this is one of the things that he said he'd actually be pro, which is small modular, reactors, right? So anyways, take a look at Oklo. I'm probably gonna buy puts on this. I'm really hoping that we get some recovery in some of these guys. Yeah, I mean, you're coming right back up on it. Man, look at this giving up. SMCI is just giving everything up right now. Wow. I wonder what happened. That's what's fun about being on I think so. Dan, I think that might be what it is. I think we have short sellers watching TFNN. No, of course, I'm joking right now. But you're getting a broader kind of sell-off. Alex Karp to sell 1.2 billion in shares. Oh man, maybe we need to buy PLTD right now, guys. Of course, never make snap decisions like that. Man. Oh wow, that's messy. How about that? We also have Rivian coming up with earnings. We're going to look a little bit more about this, into all this kind of stuff when we get back from the break. We have about 20 seconds before the break. Take a look at Rivian. Again, it's off 4.12. Probably deserves to be. This, I think, doesn't have much left in it. Submits Biden administration approval of California plan to end sale of gasoline-only vehicles. That's EPA. I mean, does that not get crushed? I mean, it has to, right? This current administration, they have the Senate, they have the House. I mean, these things kind of get crushed, right? Well, why is this positive for Rivian? And keep in mind, VW floats them. Yeah, that's great, but I mean, VW really got the lion's share of that deal where they just get raw access to what Rivian's, probably real revenue maker would be, which is releasing its OS. Folks, stay right there, we'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened. Welcome back, folks. Jacob Shoup, Tom O'Brien Show. Man, everything's getting just eviscerated. SMCI is on a further dump right now. Trading at 57. I'm not closing out of my positions just yet at all. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm probably going to hold this into next week, to be honest. But, I mean, everything's kind of getting shot right now. Get a nice little back down the SPY. Anyways, how about that? Let's take a look right now. You're getting some, price kind of increases in Alibaba. Not that necessarily matters, I don't think, but a lot of people are feeling very confident about it. You have new AI features to the iPhone in China, so Alibaba is going to be working with them. That was what kind of made Baba go, to the heights that it's at currently. Take a look right now. I think you have earnings coming up either tonight or Thursday. Trading off 1.1% right now. I mean, the whole thing's down, but trading at 125.63. So that'll be kind of interesting. Check out again. I think in the future you're going to see a larger kind of portion of capital going into China, and it kind of just makes sense, right? They're getting again a little bit more stable, and I know I will get emails for saying that, but my point being is that they're an economy that can kind of continue to float itself. They've been, posed multiple times with pretty significant problems, and they've shown themselves to be somewhat resilient, right? And at some certain point, what a lot of people do is not necessarily invest based on any kind of ideological thing, but just, hey, this is a large, massive consumer market, Anyways, you have Baba trading off 1.02% right now at 125.61. This would be crazy if this were like just the market rug pull, How about that? Let's see what else. You have Libra. That's this big pull off, the big rug pull from, what's his name? Malay in Argentina. That's kind of wild. I think Solana is going to be in some problem. And I wonder, too, if you're seeing a general kind of depression in crypto because of stuff like that. I mean, Solana itself, people are going to get off that very quickly, mainly because it's just been being used to generate rug pull coins. I mean, everything has been rug pull, right? You have Bitcoin up a little bit today at 0.75% at 96,293. That kind of messed up our coin long. This was unfortunate. We're talking about coin on its earnings, and I do want to talk about it because I don't want to just talk about when we pick winners or anything like that. But okay, this is Con-L. Let's look at coin. Coinbase, of course, Robinhood did very well. We bought some Robinhood. That was nice. You had earnings, a big move. I mean, a big move in Coinbase, and so it's kind of like, what happened? They nailed it. I mean, EPS 468 versus 162. They had almost like double the projected revenue. I mean, that's bizarre. And you still saw this massive kind of sell-off, right? And so I think what's happening with Coinbase is, one, this is tied very heavily with the price of crypto in general. You've gotten some kind of apprehension, definitely with these Solana kind of rug pulls going on. Additionally, you have more I would say competition for Coinbase in the realm of like hood, but I don't think that's necessarily a long how can I say, like an existential issue, because I think enough people still want to get into crypto that aren't and will still join into Coinbase. I think the big problem for Coinbase is the regulatory issues, right? And you've seen a lot of times, even when you have decent earnings with this equity, you can kind of just dump for whatever reason. And it does, so I am kind of holding on to the leverage ETFs. I know you don't always really want to do that, but it's okay for my purposes right now. Yeah, I mean, I think crypto's kind of in a tough spot. And again, I think this does support kind of our thesis that like crypto in general is just kind of supplementary to the trad market, meaning when everything's kind of saturated at a high point in the trad market, it's like, hey, we're going to buy some crypto, But the minute things get hairy, I don't think anyone but, the really strong acolytes of crypto believe in it as some kind of freeing mechanism from the tendrils of international finance. I don't think a lot of people think that way. I know there definitely are some, but in reality, when things get spooky, people are gonna be like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't know what this thing is. This is weird. I know this is making a lot of money, but I'm out, and I'm gonna go back into either, equities, like market ETF, which is what most people are chilling in, money market funds, and they have more money, etc. So anyways, Coinbase has been doing pretty poorly. Definitely eroded a bit of my position. That's all right. I'm going to hold on to it because I do think you probably will retest somewhat near the day before you sold off. Because I mean, you see that often. I know past performance is not indicative of future success, but this has a pretty standard pattern that it kind of follows. And if Bitcoin gets any bump, which I do anticipate, there still being, how do I say, like, I don't want to say exuberance, but still some interest and still enough juice in the media machine to pump crypto a little bit more. Coinbase definitely goes up with that. So I don't really want to sell at a loss right now. I'm kind of hoping at some point, we'll break even on that and we'll kind of move on from there. You have the SPY trading up 0.15%. You have the composite off about 0.04%. We're flipping red in the composite. Dow Jones Industrial flipping green, okay, 44,596. And you got the Russell off about 0.35% at 2,289. I hope like an ICBM didn't like get launched or something like that. Very bizarre. Let's see what else we got going on. Crude oil up 0.49%. Of course, you got a lot of energy companies too reporting this week, staying in line with the direction conversation with Elliott. You have Gush as well, 2.53% today. And then you have Drip. And again, strongly recommend you just go to direction.com and you can check out all the leveraged ETFs they have and the weightings. I remember my first foray into leverage ETFs was actually with Gush, and this was before I worked for TFNN. How about that? Very much did not understand what this was. I was very much in college, but I was talking with some people in my investment group in college, and this was one that came up. It was well played, and that was my first. Now, as I'm older and wiser, you know how to kind of play these things. Disney up 1.55%. Google. Let's take a look at Nebius as well. You have. Let's see here. You have earnings actually coming up on Nebius on Thursday, I believe, trading off about 7%. Again, I don't know what this massive sell-off is for at all. I don't know if any earnings came out. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Nebius, I do think if you're not in Nebius right now, I mean, you're at that 8 billion kind of market cap, almost 9 billion. This is kind of the realm we were looking at with it, if not just a little bit higher. This is priced, I think, pretty effectively at this point. Maybe something around like a 51, something would be a little bit better. Again, this is, considering its market cap to its competitor, which is CoreWeave, because we don't have much data to go off of Nebius right now. And of course, that does add some level of risk. Of course, I like the leadership of Nebius, which is really a big thing for me when I'm investing in a company. So that's kind of what we're going on. But again, I think this has to do with the more broader just sell-off that just occurred. So you're trading at 44.94. You made a high recently at 50.87. We'll definitely be watching that. Honestly, I think about it too. It might be worth just kind of like sitting, I'm sure the producer will want to go home. But around 5 o'clock, maybe I'll throw up my computer since we've been following Nebius since really, its inception and stuff like that. And I'll do a live stream and we'll kind of talk about that. That'll be in the den. So if you kind of want to check that, you should definitely go to TFNN.com, go to the services tab, and sign up for the Tiger's Den trading room on Discord. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back for a short segment when we return.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We just have a short segment here, trying to pull up Eli Lilly right now, up 1.15%. They have the Retatrutide coming out, I believe. This is really some interesting stuff. On February 6th, they released some data on it. Okay, no. So they're going to release it. They gave an update on February 6th. This is super interesting, right? So I have some associates, acquaintances, who run a hormone clinic, right? Great guy, very much into it. They do GLP-1s through this hormone clinic. Massive demand they're seeing for it. And the talk in the industry is this upcoming Retatrutide. So a lot of the issues that you're seeing with, tirzepatide is mainly going to be with the muscle wasting and issues with renal functions, right? It seems like Retatrutide does not really affect those things as much. Let's see. And it'll be on things for, issues like osteoarthritis. Apparently it doesn't have as many issues with the bones, which is super fascinating. It makes me a little bit interested in Eli Lilly. And I kind of want to look a little bit deeper into it now. When you're talking about a company that's at $780 billion, that's a large amount. PE at 74. You still have a lot of the world who is kind of, let's say, developing and are getting to a point where they were, where we were, let's say, like 20 years ago, right? And obesity skyrockets from there. I mean, we saw that in Mexico. We're seeing it in China in a major way. I promise you will see it in South America as well. And so these GLP-1 drugs can become, very, very lucrative for these companies, especially things like retatrutide, as they kind of, I would say modulate it a little bit to the extent to a point where it doesn't necessarily harm the individual taking it, or you can kind of mitigate those impacts. Because, I mean, GLP-1 drugs can really negatively impact people, right? Brittle bones because don't have enough nutrients, really mess up the kidneys on it. So anyways, taking a look at retatrutide, taking a look at Lilly. Folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic evening. If you're in St. Pete, Tampa, drive safely. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for Tommy O'Brien's Morning Market Kickoff. Take care.
Building